What's up, everyone? So I'm sure if you're a normal human being, you've noticed the influx of straight disrespect towards Drew Brees' name and legacy ever since we lost that playoff game to the Minnesota Vikings just a couple of weeks back. Sorry if I sound like I got hit by a truck. I'm a little sick, but that's okay. First, before I start the video, I would like to thank Johnny C or the Saints Hub for giving me this video idea. I was thinking about doing it before, but I didn't because I didn't think people would want to see it. But the way that he gave me the idea and people responded to it, I thought it would be, a perfect enough pitch to go ahead and, maybe shed some light on this Drew Brees situation. So if you would like a more unfiltered, realistic point of view at the New Orleans Saints, go subscribe to the Saints Hub. I'll leave his link in the description. Johnny, if you guys remember him from the streams, and I made a video with him, State of the Saints one time, go check his channel out. The dude is hilarious. The way he uses curse words so intuitively is hilarious. Like, it makes me laugh so hard. But anyway, that's not what this video is about. This video is about the New Orleans Saints QB controversy, which I don't really think should be a controversy. People saw Taysom Hill complete a pass, and that made Drew Brees become a witch hunt, essentially. Taysom Hill can run the ball. Taysom Hill can throw a pass. Teddy Bridgewater has had a fair amount of completions himself. So seeing this, the rationale of Saints fans was, you know what? Drew Brees is washed. He didn't win a playoff game. This dude sucks. Let's disregard everything he's done for the entirety of the season. Get this dude off the team. Let's witch hunt him. I don't understand how a quarterback that has been stuck in a system that for so long was extremely non-beneficial to him. 7-9, 7-9, 7-9. Drew Brees was throwing for 5,000 yards and 40 touchdowns every year and still not making the postseason. And now you guys want to go and stab him in the back and say, this dude is trash. He's not a leader of a team. He can't do this and that. So I'm here to clarify why Drew Brees is still an elite quarterback to this day. It's still a extreme disappointment from me and a lot of other Saints fans that I'm sitting here explaining this to some of you guys, but it has come to the point where it's ridiculous. The witch hunt needs to be over. I cannot believe this is even a thing towards Drew Brees, but whatever. Let's get into it. So I'd like to start off by saying, yes, I do want and I do believe Drew Brees will be the starting quarterback of the New Orleans Saints next season. The first thing I would like to look at are purebred statistics. Now, some people may say this, and you may have heard this line before: men lie, women lie, numbers don't. Drew Brees leads the league all time in passing yards with 77,416, passing touchdowns with 547, completions with 6,867, completion percentage with 67.6, and so much more. The fact that the passing yards, passing touchdowns, completions, and completion percentage are the four most important records for a quarterback to hold, the four most important measurements of success that quarterbacks have, and he owns all four of those all time, is ridiculous. And if you think that the New Orleans Saints are just going to let talent like that walk away, you're crazy. And if you think that this is just statistics that are old, bottomless numbers that don't matter, numbers that should have, died along with his career 4 years back, you're stupid. I'm not going to get into why yet, but we're going to go into it. These numbers have very, very recent implications. So purebred statistics are one reason I want to keep this quarterback around. If you have a guy that is proven to be the best statistic quarterback in NFL history, letting him go would be a stupid mistake. The next thing I'd like to talk about is something that has been very, very, very prominent in the Lynch Drew Brees community. That's the playoff record that Drew Brees has for himself. Let's get into this by saying and stating that Drew Brees does not have a fantastic record in the playoffs. He just hasn't. He doesn't have a fantastic record in the playoffs. He's 8-8 in the playoffs, which is neutral, but people continuously try to blame Drew Brees and Brees only for the failure he and the New Orleans Saints have faced in the postseason. Drew Brees has done all he can to succeed in this facet of the game. Drew averages 310 passing yards per game in the playoffs. 310. In 16 playoff games, Drew Brees has thrown for 4,967 yards. That is the length of an entire NFL season and is a very Drew Brees-like number for that duration of time. He does not face a significant drop in the playoffs. Other than coaching, Sean Payton was definitely the problem the last 2 years in the playoffs. Don't blame Drew Brees for coaching mistakes because it wasn't him. I was naive and I said Drew Brees is the reason we lost this Minnesota Vikings game. There were a couple of things that I didn't like. Of course, the Ted Ginn Jr. bomb, but you can go watch the film. Drew Brees and Sean Payton sat there and talked that play out and gave Ted Ginn a chance at the ball. Was it smart? No, but it was a two-person decision. Nothing that Drew Brees does is on his own. We can't sit here and knock him for things like that. Drew Brees has been fantastic statistically in and out of the playoffs, and that's definitely something that's kept this team afloat during that 16-game playoff stretch. Also, Drew Brees has thrown 34 touchdowns and 12 interceptions in those games as well, which is more than ideal for a team to be a winning team in these situations. The problem is, while Drew Brees has been playing well, the defense has allowed an average of 30 points per game in the playoffs. 30 points per game. The offense would need, if we're going by touchdowns here, the offense would need 5 touchdowns to surpass and win a game in which the defense has allowed 30 points per game. Do you understand how big of a task that is? 5 touchdowns total? The situation here is something that a lot of people, have preached, but when it comes around and actually goes into effect, it just gets ignored. Defense wins championships. If you can't play complementary football with a functioning offense and a functioning defense, you're not going to get anywhere. Drew Brees is not the sole reason we've been losing in the playoffs. His playoff statistics have been fantastic. You can call them empty stats all you want. This dude brought a Super Bowl to New Orleans. New Orleans was a joke. The New Orleans Saints was a joke. Our fans used to show up to the games with bags over their heads. People used to call us the Aints and we accepted it. We were searching for motivation, for momentum, for something to hold on to for all of those years until Drew Brees came into town and changed the entire mentality of this team. 3 straight playoff visits? You better sit there, look at that, and say, hey, this wouldn't have been possible without Drew Brees. Drew Brees is the reason we've been going to the playoffs, regardless of how it's been ending. Extended seasons didn't exist before this dude came to New Orleans, so stop sitting here and blaming him and forcing him and hoping that he just gets out off of a couple of playoff losses, dude. Every great quarterback faces them. Tom Brady's lost in the Super Bowl before. Peyton Manning lost in the Super Bowl at the hands of Drew Brees in the Super Bowl. All good quarterbacks, all great quarterbacks face some kind of turmoil. Stop witch hunting him. But aside from playoff record, let's talk about how great this quarterback is in modern times. You people go ahead and sit here and say all of his statistics are from past eras. Drew Brees is washed up now. He's not. Drew threw for 2,979 yards, 27 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions this season, while missing 5 games with a torn ligament in his thumb. 24 NFL teams had quarterbacks that performed worse than Drew Brees in an entire NFL season while this dude played 11 games. Is that not a measure of how good he is at this moment? If that isn't, I'm going to go ahead and give you something else to look at. Drew Brees has been a disgustingly clutch quarterback over the entirety of his career, and especially during the past few NFL seasons. Drew is second all-time in game-winning drives, only behind Peyton Manning, of course, with 50 game-winning drives. 15 of those game-winning drives came from 2016 to now. 15 of them, including 7 in 2018. He's done an amazing job at bringing the ball down the field with seconds to spare to put his team in position to win, and it's genuinely amazing to see. He won us the game against Houston. He won us the game against Carolina. He almost won us the game against San Francisco, but guess what? The defense choked. He almost won us the game against Minnesota. He took it to overtime for us, and then Minnesota got the ball first, and they scored on their first possession. Stop blaming Drew Brees. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. All reasonable Saints fans that have a brain don't like the fact that Drew Brees is being witch hunted. I just don't understand how a dude that has brought you so much, a Lombardi, all passing records ever, and identity. The New Orleans Saints were not known as a pass-happy team, a team-friendly team, a team with a lot of chemistry until this dude came into town. Drew Brees is the New Orleans Saints. So I'm not going to sit here and stand by and watch people ridicule him to the end of the earth. I'm tired of it. I'm not dealing with it anymore. Stop hating on Drew Brees. There's no point. He's proven his legacy over and over again. Don't make him do it again. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you boys in the next one. Adios.
Ballin' like Barkley, wrist so sparkly, internet surfing, feel like iCarly.